Good morning, folks, and welcome to Stock Charts today. It is 5:22 Eastern Standard Time in the AM. Let's begin with the U.S. dollar, which has consolidated sideways. No doubt about it. It's had a strong week, but has consolidated sideways. We saw some weakness on the dollar after the Fed announcement on Wednesday. It rebounded and really hasn't budged much ever since. Now, is that bullish or bearish? In my book, it's bullish on a technical basis because we are holding recent gains and we've had a big run up. So they're being digested, and I'm not happy about it. Believe me, as a patriot, I am. You know, I love my country. I want my dollar to be strong, but not when I'm holding gold stocks. Right? It doesn't help me. So that's a concern, no doubt about it. Now, later on this morning, we have the jobs data coming out. That's the Pimp Mac Daddy of them all when it comes down to economic reports. So we may see a reaction one way or the other on the dollar and across the spectrum in terms of stocks, commodities, etc. But long story short, bullish dollar right now on this consolidation. Let's check out gold. Now, gold was in a consolidation. It broke this last 4-hour bar. These are all 4-hour charts I'm going over. So we have broken down below support, major concern, a reaction to a stronger U.S. dollar. We are still threatening the 1300 level, which is psychological support. It must hold. Oil is consolidating gains. It has been in a bull run of late. Therefore, the resolution to this consolidation in all probability will be a break higher, especially if the dollar breaks. Moving to the futures, stock futures, the S&P 500 is down marginally. We did break out yesterday. We're now digesting those gains across this upper band of now support. It was resistance. Remember, if we pull back on this 4-hour chart, I was talking about this late last week, early this week. We have a cup with handle formation. Do we have the beginning of a breakout? Perhaps. The NASDAQ futures, similar situation here in terms of a cup, but that handle, it's just not working out. We're seeing some weakness on the NASDAQ on a 4-hour chart. We did break down here on the 3rd. We've rallied back, attempted to recapture prior support. It is now resistance, and we're showing a little bit of weakness this morning. Now, again, folks, you know, the futures are just an indicator of where we may open. Remember that at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, we have the jobs numbers that will be released. All of these charts can change in a heartbeat. Let's take a look at the 10-year Treasury note. Now, the note is rising. Therefore, if it's rising, that means yields are under some pressure. Now, that's no great shock after the Federal Reserve meeting on Wednesday. Now, what we're looking for here is a very similar breakout as to what we had here on the 2nd. We had a bull flag formation. We're looking for the same deal here. So let's take our crayon out. There's our upper band of resistance. Now, if the jobs data comes out weak, you could expect a rally in the 10-year note, forcing yields lower. Now, if the jobs data comes out strong, well, that's a sign of an overheated economy. So we'll be wanting to watch this lower band of support. Now, if we break this lower band of support, you can expect the dollar to rally, gold to pull back, commodities to pull back. Perhaps not oil. Oil has been trading on its own of late. It really hasn't been reacting negatively to a stronger U.S. dollar. It's just shrugged it off. All right, let's move now over to members' stock chart requests. This is where I review the symbols that our members submit for me to review on video. First chart up, weekly chart of Norwegian Cruise Lines. Not a pretty chart, but there's also a bull story to tell here as well. But I'm going to get to the negatives first because that's where we're seeing the path of least resistance at current. So we have RSI putting in lower highs and lower lows. It is in a downtrend channel. As are the stochastics. Price, same deal here. We did get a rally several weeks ago, but it all ended here the week of April the 23rd, and that's where we were able to set up data point number 2 of our declining upper band of resistance. Now this week, we have closed down below a key support level, and we are now just flirting with a very significant support level. If it breaks, in all probability, we're coming down to, well, we'll find some support at 50, but in all probability, where this will all end is within the mid to low 40s, and then we could catch a bid to the upside. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's a bull story to tell here as well. Now, let's throw another line up here and some arrows. Okay, so we have an inverted head and shoulders setup, potentially. It's not going to be a known until we rally and close above this upper neckline in solid blue line. Here's your left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but here's your neckline. I've seen more failed inverted and standard head and shoulders setups than I care to mention. So it really doesn't pay to try to trade off of the formation until you get a breakout. But that is all I have to say positively about this chart. The fact that we have broken down below and are now flirting with key support levels on volume, which is set to come in above average, is a major concern. Daily chart. Daily basis, weak and getting weaker. We are very close to taking out the April lows. We are not at extreme oversold levels, meaning RSI well below 20. Therefore, I don't see a trade here just yet, so I would watch. I wouldn't necessarily short it right now. I would watch it. 3M, weekly chart, a Dow stock. We were in a triangle formation. That failed here. The week of March the 19th, volume strong. So we're seeing institutional distribution of a Dow stock. Not good. Daily chart. So there is a trade to be had here on 3M. It's a very short-term swing trade. We had support back here in July of 17. These past couple of days, few days to say, we've been seeing bottoming action. So traders are trying to find a floor to trade off of, and I think they found it. We've had 2 bullish key reversal days. We had one here on May the 1st, another yesterday. So let's throw a line up here. All right, so I would be looking for a rally up and through and a close above, most importantly, this upper band of resistance in blue. If we get that, I would be fine with scratching the itch, opening up a position with a stop right below 191.44. We're putting in a higher low on Ultimate Oscillator, good stuff. So I think we're going to get a rally on 3M fairly soon. But it will be a swing trade only. Very short term. I would be looking to book profits into a resistance level. The 205.90 level looks good, or perhaps a filling of the gap at the 209.47 level, and I would be out. For those longer term investors, I would defer to a weekly chart, look for a pullback off of any rally, then see whether or not we get a double bottom setup, a higher low, something that would imply that we have seen the end of selling. Next chart up, PayPal, daily chart. Actually, let's start with the weekly chart. Okay, so PayPal, I use as a payment provider and as a consumer as well. My members love it. I love it as a consumer and as for payment processing purposes. Now, the problem here is that with many of the stocks that we've been talking about these past several weeks, they're in a downtrend, right? We have lower highs and lower lows. Now, we put in a low back in February of 71.63. This week, we put in a new intra-week low. It's not a closing low, and that matters, but a new intra-week low at 70.22. And we have broken down below, not this week, but the prior week, below this lower band of support. That's a problem, right? So we have lower highs, lower lows, So on a weekly basis or on an investment basis, I can't buy this stock. Perhaps using a daily chart, I'll see a setup for a short-term swing trade, book profits, and then move to the sidelines watching for a longer-term setup to establish. But we're not there yet. Volume, very strong. So we have institutional distribution. Now, what I will say before we go to the daily chart is this, is that we are trading well off the lows of the week. We had buyers that stepped in. Perhaps they're trying to establish a support level along these lines because you had bottoming tails back here in December of 17, again in February, again in April, again this week. Now watch your Stokes here, lower highs and lower lows, but could we foresee the possibility of a double bottom setup and a hook up higher and a breakout? Maybe. We want to keep an open mind. Let's go to a daily chart now. Yeah, so here you have it. On a daily basis, you have the potential for, let me update this chart. I'll be right back. Okay, so what I did here is I just extended out some prior support levels. That prior support level is now resistance. And the last time I spoke about PayPal, we had a head and shoulders setup forming. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We have broken the neckline. Now, on a positive note, yesterday we flashed a bullish key reversal on PayPal. Now, might we get a rally? Sure. The problem is that you have a ton of overhead supply, meaning resistance, to try to get through. So if you're going to swing trade this stock on a bet that you're going to at least rally up and into a resistance level, maybe 76.50 or 79 around there before you get stopped and get a pullback, all right, just use a stop right below yesterday's lows of 70.22 and get out. Because if we close down below that level, we're going a lot lower. We'll see the 60s in a heartbeat. Now, if we rally and we close above, let's call it $75.50 to $76 per share, that means that we have broken out of this short-term downtrend. And we may have the beginning of a rebound in the shares. Volume, very strong yesterday. And the fact, I'm going to go to Square next. I went over Square yesterday, and I was bearish on Square, and we did have a very bearish day. But here's the thing, is that we flashed a bullish key reversal. We were down strong on the session, and we reversed to close higher. Now, we did not close back above resistance, but this is another payment processor just like PayPal. And the fact that Square was able to shrug off earnings doesn't get lost on me. That's a tell by the market. Now, if we're able to move higher and close above the 50 level, then it becomes attractive as a long trade. Not right now. Right now, for all I know, we had a short squeeze yesterday ahead of the jobs data today. A bit cynical? Yes. So we'll keep an eye on Square and PayPal as potential longs. Amazon, daily chart, a good day yesterday. A bullish key reversal. We are holding the breakout. We were in a tight consolidation. Earnings came out. They popped higher. They're holding the breakout. If they break back down below this lower band of support, they become a short. If they rally up and through, let's call it 1585.98, the shares become a long. Add to your position on a new all-time high. No overhead supply here, and the shares move higher. We have a breakout on RSI. That breakout is holding. Volume, very light yesterday. So wait for that breakout. This is not a vote of confidence by institutions, and you need institutional support for Amazon. The last chart up is Waste Connections WCN. We have a bullish reversal week this week. We're looking for a breakout above the highs of April the 16th. And yesterday, We had a very strong bullish key reversal. I'll go to the daily chart in a moment. Volume this week thus far, very strong. Ultimate oscillator like a coiled spring. Daily chart. So here's your bullish key reversal day. We're very close to taking out recent highs. Volume is strong. Members, we'll talk more about waste connections. We may be buyers of waste connections. And that's it for today, folks. Everybody have a profitable trading day. If you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Seeking Alpha, follow me, subscribe. You know the deal, all that stuff. Leave a comment. If you watch us on the website, enter your email address. We hate spam too. We'll send you out a couple of free trade tutorials. Everybody have a really outstanding trading day and have a great weekend. Members, we will go into our week ahead strategy session this weekend. So stay tuned for more to come. Be well.